finances, business, marketing, all these things are needed for a business. Customer satisfaction. Have you ever wanted to jumpstart them and bring more clients in? And then when you have those clients, what do you do to serve them better? These are just a few of the things we're going to be talking about in today's episode. I have none other than William Gammon, who has 50 years experience in airline, security, financial industries, and now he's taking that expertise and sharing it with you to help you grow your business. I'm going to bring him up right after we thank our sponsor. Every business needs a book, including yours. Visit freebusinessbookpublishingcourse.com today to learn the 7 steps to publish and promote your nonfiction lead and profit-generating business book in 8 weeks. Once again, that's freebusinessbookpublishingcourse.com. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, William Gammon. How you doing, Will? Oh. We're going to do that one more time. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, William Gammon. How you doing?
I'm doing fine, Mario. How's your day?
My day is going fantastic. I'm excited to hear what you have to say about what you've learned over the years of helping so many successful companies.
Well, if I can get in the screen.
You had it.
I moved the camera. I'm sorry.
It's okay. There you go. Just leave it right there.
Okay.
Let me intro you just one more time, and we'll get it.
My hand hit the computer and it moved, so I'm apologizing here, Mario.
Oh, no problems.
We got a little bit of editing to do.
There you go. That's perfect right there. Okay. Let me just do that. Let me just intro you one more time. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, William Gammon. How you doing, Bill?
Thanks, Mario. I'm doing excellent. I hope your day is going the same.
It's going great, and I'm excited to hear what you have to say because I don't have 50 years experience in any industry, let alone financial, airline. I mean, you have such an extensive background and successful background. Tell me more a little bit about it.
Well, I got a world of experience in my hip pocket. And it started many years ago when I got on a plane for United Airlines, going from Baltimore, Maryland to San Francisco on my way to spend my junior year of high school in the Philippines with my father, who ran a textile mill there.
No kidding.
And while I was there, I really learned how to play chess. A guy named Manuelito Diaz used to beat me unmercifully day by day until I really learned the game. And I guess I learned from him early on in my life that someone who's gone before you, because his father and grandfather were both grandmasters at chess, can teach you a lot quicker than you can learn yourself. And so when I came back from the Philippines a year later, from my senior year of high school, I could take on the entire chess club and not lose a game all at once.
Oh, wow.
So when you really learn the secrets that the pros know and have learned from lots of experience and lots of mistakes, you avoid the mistakes. You get to where you want to go quicker. And so to continue the story, during the next 50 years in my business career, I've had a multitude of coaches, from folks like Zig Ziglar, from folks like Bill Good, folks like Norman Vincent Peale, who taught me something very important in a sermon given our church in Pensacola, Florida,
What's
the
that?
Church of the Year award in the United States. In his sermon to deliver that award to us, he said this: thank God for the bottom, because when you're at the bottom, there's no way to go but up.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? When you can see ways to go up, you keep a positive mindset. And if you took a page of paper and you split it into four quarters, that below the half is below the hope line. When you think about helping someone, if they're below that line, you first got to get them back to where they have hope again. And
Very
then
true.
above that, they spiral up. And so you just have to find a way to reach behind them and cut the cord that's holding their boat back so that can go on down the river of life and get to where they want to go.
I like that. I like that a lot because so many people, I think, focus on how can I go from here to here and go higher and do this and do better. And that's all well and good. I'm absolutely in that boat. But when you're always moving forward, you don't generally have time to learn. It's when you're in those moments of going, okay, everything is going haywire. What happened? And I feel like it gives you this opportunity, like you're saying, below the line, to really be introspective and retrospective and go, what can we do better? What can we improve on so that way this never happens again? And should it even come close, we're prepared for it and it doesn't catch us off guard.
Absolutely. And another thing about that is this: everyone today is, because of COVID, somewhat shorthanded, somewhat overloaded. And when you're in that situation, you have a lot of things coming at you. And so you have to be able to sort out the important things. So back to that page, split it in four quarters. Make things easy, because keeping things simple helps you to solve those problems and get to where you want to go and do what you want to do. In one corner, you put a one, the next to two, and the next to three, and the next to four. And here, what you put in the four corners, there's only four things you can do to change anything: stop, start, more, less. In order to get the time to do what you want, you got to get rid of the less. You got to not focus on that. So when I help someone create a roadmap and clarity on their goals, which we need first before we get the map, we need to have clear goals. I try to do this. I try to say, let's write down all the things you want to do. And then let's let you put them in these four quadrants so that you're driving the bus. You're getting what you want. And then we'll focus on them one thing at a time. Because there's an old Russian parable: if you chase two rabbits, you get none. So if we just split this elephant into little bites, we get from where we want to go to where we are. And we do what we need to do in order to achieve our goals. And as we get to this milepost and the next one, we celebrate. We were here, now we're here. And that's a victory. Because if we look at the goal a year down the road, 12 months from now, we still have a ways to go. But we have to have some winnings. A sports team doesn't win the championship in one leap. It wins it day by day. A business does the same thing. One new client at a time, and doing what you do for that client right. So not only do you win that client, you do this. And this is what I have learned to do. You turn your clients into friends instead of your friends into clients. And you never have to go searching for clients, because they're always there sending you their friends and more of their business and their family and the people they do business with. And that just builds on itself. And it's a wonderful thing. And I tell clients right up front, I help serious people. do what they want to do, and I can help you get there. But you have to be honest with me and tell me what you want. And then we'll have an in depth conversation to clarify those goals and build your roadmap. And then we'll put mileposts in it so that we can celebrate them. And along the way, I'm going to light the path and I'm going to hold you accountable because accountability is a big thing. If you're not accountable, it's like making New Year's resolutions. By February, you're behind the eight ball. You haven't got them done and you've already lost the focus. And so a good mentor can help you not only see what you want to achieve, but break it into bite-sized bits. Success in business or life is like a puzzle, and there are a multitude of small pieces that we need to work on one at a time to get there. And we get there quicker when we have someone who clearly is involved to help us and not just sell us something.
Why do you think so many people lose that accountability or don't even have it to begin with? Because when you made that comment about you by early February for the New Year's resolutions, that's a big thing every year. Oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But why do so many people fail with it?
Well, it's not that people don't have good intentions. They let the glitz and the glitter and the interruptions use up the one thing that we all have the same amount of, and that's time. And unless we are very careful with our time and we have blocks of time to use to do this or do that, and we learn to structure life that way, time gets away from us instead of we control it. How many people do you know that really control their time the way they need to? Not as many as would like to control it.
No. I'm thinking
And
of
it's
some
the
of the best
Pareto
people
principle.
I know and people I've had on the show, and it's like, wow, they're really impressive. But even they've admitted to me, they're like, I'm not perfect with this stuff. It's just,
No one's
I would say
perfect.
more constant improvement and, trying to be better than you were yesterday.
And you can be better than you were when you have a coach that's had the successes before. I was fortunate enough to be the number one broker in America for 3 different broker dealers in the last 30 years. And when I started in the business, I started in Indianapolis, a city I'd never been to or lived in before. And the guy that hired me, Joe Masati, said, Bill, you can do well if you just work half the time. You can make good money for your clients and your family. And I said, that sounds pretty good, Joe. And he said, now tell me, son, what 12 hours you want to work every day? And I listened to him and I did and became a vice president with Schiss and Lehman Hutton within my first 6 months and was their best new broker in the Midwest my first year. And a couple of years later, Prudential offered me a package that bought me a house on a lake and paid me more for my clients if I just moved a couple of miles up the road. And all kind of opportunities work for us when we work with our clients during the business time and we work on ourselves during our time. And so I've always learned every day. I've had goals to get me from where I was to where I want to go. So when I wrote the book, Fast Track Your Business Journey and Thrive Along the Way, I wrote it with a lot of experience and a lot of help for many years and a lot of help in getting it on a piece of paper. And writing a book is not an easy thing to do, as you know. But good books will help people even after we're not there to help. And good books are there, like you and me, to help those who really seek help. And there's an old Sanyasin saying that says, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And I have become a sage and a good teacher to help the students that want my help. If you go to my website at gammonassociates.net or .com, you'll see If you look about Bill, the first sentence says, I help serious businessmen
Mm-hmm.
achieve successes. And the successes go beyond your dreams. We've doubled businesses in a year or less in some cases. We've made people more millions than they thought they ever would see. And we,
Let me ask you this: what do you feel is the common denominator from the people you've helped you in? It's impressive. You say we take them in a year or less. What would you say is the common denominator in most of those cases, or even if yeah, that's good. What's the common denominator in most of them?
the common denominator in most of them is
Or I'll say
willing to.
this: if there's two or three, what are the big ones that it tend the categories it fits into?
Well, first off, sounds too good to be true if I tell you I can find you $100,000 in an hour. And I can find that in most businesses because they're stepping over money that's already there. They don't have to look far to find it, but they don't know where to look or how to look. And they haven't structured their businesses such that they have policies and procedures to accomplish these
Mm.
things. One, two, three. And I start off with 12 things, but I have 40 more. And so there's a lot of things that we can do to help people if they'll just trust us, be honest with us, and take the risk to try it. And guess what? I'll help you plan that journey and that roadmap and show you what we can do with your numbers that as we talk about it, you say how much you think this might affect your business or that. And we use your numbers, not mine, to get to what we can do for you. And after you see it, then you make a commitment if you'd like my help or not. And apart from that, you owe me nothing. I have a book that I give away free. I have other things that I give away free because
You
I
really
need
want to help
show you.
people.
And that also shows you that I'm sincere and I can do what I say I can do. I'm not Merlin the magician. I can show you the way, but you need to do the work. But here's where you need to focus first, second, and third. And if we do that with just three things: sales, cost of doing business, and your cost of sales. Those three things get you your profits.
Do you feel
Profits
that
grow.
most companies are maximizing their sales, or even the best ones you've seen can still do 5 or 10% more?
5 or 10% is child's play. We could do a whole lot more than that.
Okay,
But
let me rephrase that. Even the best ones you've seen, you always find something they can improve, even if it's a little bit.
generally speaking, since we're humans, we can always find a way to improve. And the truth is, we can do much better than AI or robots because people like to do business with people, people they know, like, and trust, people that they know want to help them and know how to help them, and they can see helping them along the journey. People like that stay with you for years, and people that stay with you for years, if you double a business a few times, you got a pretty good business. And there are businesses out there that grew a whole lot more than average in a year. And the reason that they did is they had a plan and they had people to implement the plan that followed a procedure,
Hmm.
a repeatable process that works. And that's what some of the secrets are.
Let me ask you
There,
about that 5 or 10% because you didn't bat an eyelash to say that's child's play, and I know some people that their whole marketing messages will help you grow 1 to 2%, and then there's other people saying 50, 100 in the larger numbers, and I feel like both are authentic and both are possible, but I don't want to lead the question. Um, what would you say is the difference between the people promoting 1 to 5% growth? Because even that's good. 5 and 10%. I mean, growth is growth. But what would you say is the differentiator from someone saying, we'll help you grow this child's play amount versus exponentially?
Here's what I'm going to tell you. Even though I know I can do bigger numbers, when I talk to a client, if you were my client, I'd tell you to take a number 5 to 10% or less on each of the things we talk about. Here's why. I would rather under promise and over deliver and have you amazed than have you looking for 50% and only show up with 49. If you see what I'm saying.
Yeah, the other thing is 10% on all the different things you're talking about isn't just 10% overall.
No. If you take a half a dozen things and grow them by 5% each, you're not growing by 30%. You're growing by a compound of how these things fit together, work together, and work for your business. And I can show that to a new prospective client in less than an hour with their numbers. And when they see their numbers and then they start to see how the plan really will get them there, then they get excited about putting their foot in the plan and putting their money behind it to get it done rather than just trying to do it themselves without any help or guidance. And that's another thing. I had a client that spent an hour with me, his first hour as a paying client. And he told me this after the first hour: Bill, I've learned more from you in 1 hour than I learned from a multitude of coaches in the last year. Now, that is a remarkable statement, but it's a factual statement from a man in Colorado that's a client and happy that he found me.
Yeah, that's impressive.
I had in my business life this goal. Anybody that comes into my office, by the time they leave, I want them smiling and thinking they're happy they walked in. And the way to do that is help them get what they want, not help me get what I do. Because different ones will want different things for different reasons. And some of them will have lofty goals that might take several years to get to. And someone might only have a goal in order to get to where they can afford the groceries and the gas with what's gone on in the last couple of years in the world and in our country. And so whether it's one or the other, getting from where they are to where they want to go is this. It's like taking someone on a little mountain climbing tour. And if their goal was to get to 100,000 from where they are, and when they get there, what do they want? They want 2. And when they get to 2, what do they want? They want 5. And when they get to 5, they want 1 million. When they get to 1 million, they want 2. And so the goal is always going to be ratcheting up, because as you climb one mountain and peak it, you can see beyond and you can think beyond what you could do before you achieve those successes. So telling somebody in a startup you're going to make $1 million in your first year is lunacy, because their chances is infinitesimal. Not that they couldn't do it. There are people who can. But those people are few and far between. And those people generally aren't living a balanced life, because balance in life and in business is very important. Happy wife, happy life. You got to keep that going, or you lose over here what you win over theirs, And children, if you provide the world for them, but you're not there to provide the parental support that they need, you lose in another way. And so life is a balancing act. And business is sort of similar, because if we work part of the time and spend part of the time in our family life and our social life and our spiritual life, then we're much better off than if we only focus on one and don't have the others to balance us, to complete us, because we're not
You
automatons.
become that
We're,
robot or that AI
yeah,
that
right.
you lose that all comprehension and reality of what makes us human.
Exactly. The AI can get you this or that right now because it's got answers, answers, answers. But how you going to implement? You got to be able to implement the answers. And so you have to use it judiciously. And we all need to do that today. My degree in marketing from the University of Iowa was in 1979. If I marketed today with 1979 ideas and skills, I would not be successful. I'm sorry, it's different.
A few
And
things that have
so
changed over the years.
there's always change. But guess what? My grandma taught me about change a long time ago when she said this: when you're green, you grow. And when you're right, you rot. So stay green and keep growing.
I like that. I like that. And I think that's a good segue. I got one more question for you with this. With the wheel of whatever, do you want yellow or black?
Both are Hawkeye colors. I'll take gold, which is yellow.
You get black.
Okay.
And my question for you is, with everyone you've helped, looking back, is there any other career path you could have seen yourself doing?
We could always look back and find something else we could do. But I'll answer it this way: whatever career I was in and whatever I was doing at the time, at whatever level it was, I was happy and fulfilled and doing my best and helping people to the best of my ability at that time. And so I did not look to change from this to that along the path. I looked to become better at what I was doing. I got a 3.89 out of 4.0 grade point average from the University of Iowa. How? I taped all the lectures. I listened to them as I was going from this place to that place. I was with United Airlines at the time and responsible for Iowa, Illinois, Indiana. I had a lot of car miles to go to deal with all those travel agents and the universities that the Big Ten has in those states. And so I also had the benefit of meeting the athletic directors and the coaches of the best football teams in the Midwest, taking them to the Rose Bowl or to the Final Four and going along on a trip. And so I've had a lot of good luck along the path that I've journeyed, but I earned every step. And I was making those steps, whether it was helping a travel agent put in United's Apollo system, a win for them, a win for United, a win for me. Whether I was putting a charter together to take the team from Iowa, Indiana, Illinois, whatever school it was, Michigan. They're all good schools. They're all good competitors. And they compete against good schools, whether it's the Pac 10 with the Rose Bowl or the Final Four with teams from everywhere in the country. The challenges get better the higher up you go, but the people get friendlier. And although a loss is a loss, the sportsmanship gets better and the friendship gets better. And the way they do business is easier once they get to know you and know that there's nothing you won't do for them. And that's the way I'll answer that question.
That's a great answer, and I do appreciate it. We're going to thank our sponsor and come back with the imperfect action round. Every business needs a book, including yours. Visit freebusinessbookpublishingcourse.com today to learn the 7 steps to publish and promote your nonfiction lead and profit-generating business book in 8 weeks. Once again, that's freebusinessbookpublishingcourse.com. And we are back with the imperfect action round. Bill, are you ready to take imperfect action?
Imperfect action is superior to no action.
Absolutely. So I got 3 questions for you. And it's rapid fire, 60-second or less answers. And the first one is, what is the fastest path to the cash?
Honesty, clarity, authenticism. If you're authentic and honest in the way you go about trying to convince someone it's best for them, you'll win every time because they can see that, but they can also see hunger when you're after cash instead of after helping the person that your product should help.
Excellent. Number 2, what is the biggest problem you see your prospects making and the fastest way for them to fix it?
The biggest thing I see prospects, not clients, do is prospects are a little more disbelieving. And that's because they get a lot of bombardment with a lot of things that aren't for them. For example, if you look at advertising, most advertising is eye-focused by the company or the person doing the ads instead of you focused in what you will benefit if you were to take this action. And so that's my answer when it comes to that. You need to be you focused, client focused.
Number 3, what is the best way to maximize customer lifetime value?
Always under promise and over deliver.
Yeah, I like that when you mentioned that. That's a good one. Now, with me being a business book publisher, I love books and love doing them for other people to help their business. What business books would you recommend to Expert Authority World that have helped you?
Well, let's see. Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Norman Vincent Peale, Zig Ziglar, Steve Chandler. Have you ever heard of Steve Chandler?
The name sounds familiar. What's his book?
He was a songwriter and he's written several books. But the one that impressed me most is 13 Lies That Are Holding You Back and the Truth That Will Set You Free. And I'll give you the 40,000-foot viewpoint in a second or two.
Please do.
It basically is the lies of the way you and I and society has been brought up. You should do this. You shouldn't do that. You need to do this. You need to do that. The truth is, you are very powerful. And you can step into that power and do what you want. But you have to take that power and use it.
Love that. Well, thank you for sharing that and everything else.
There's one other book I would recommend.
Okay, I'm open.
You can find it on my website. It's Fast Track Your Business Journey and Thrive Along the Pathway. And the reason I recommend it, it shows you just a few of the ways that I would start out in helping any business. And it's free. And you know what? Information in there that's free could be worth millions to folks.
For sure. I loved what you were sharing earlier. And why don't you say that website name again so people know where to get it?
Gammon, Gammon, and Associates, ASSOCIATES.net. You get a free book there. There's other free things you can get there. because I think that if I give you something and you see what I can do, you might want to spend a few minutes with me. And there's a free consult with me if you want to spend some time and just chat. No obligation.
Well, I've enjoyed our chat, and I know others will as well.
Thank you for the opportunity to chat with you and your listeners and viewers. And God bless you and your family. Stay safe and stay away from the virus.
You as well. All right, Expert Authority World, we have another great episode here today. I'll see you on the next one. Have a great day, and God bless.